All right, that was a cool look at Cashmere Red down there in Telluride. And here we are with Tara Kelly, the ED of Telluride One-to-One Youth Mentoring, right?
One-to-one mentoring.
One-to-one mentoring,
Yep.
okay. First of all, before we get into the organization
Okay.
and the amazing stuff that you guys do, because it is really amazing, I want to know about you. How did you get here? Where do you come from?
The Telluride story, is that what
The
you're looking for?
Telluride story
That
is
everybody
what
has?
I'm looking for, yeah.
I came here 18 years ago in July
That's
of
wild.
2000 for my little brother, Sean Tannehill's wedding.
Okay.
Sean was the head of golf for the ski resort in the golf club, and we came out for his wedding and kind of fell in love with the town. My kids were in kindergarten and 6th grade. And
That's
we
great.
came out for vacation, and we ended up moving out here 4 months later. And I started working at Telski, and my kids were in private Catholic school in Boca Raton, Florida.
Really?
So we moved from Boca Raton, Florida. They had never seen snow. Packed up a U-Haul and towed our.
They were super excited, though.
Yep, they were scared. But
They were scared of the snow?
They were scared of everything.
They probably are like
Yeah.
expert skiers.
I mean,
or
they didn't even
snowboarders
know
now,
how
right?
to put gloves on. They didn't know how to put, they never wore, really socks. They were Boca Raton.
To live the life of a kid and have that be the biggest thing that you're worried about.
Yeah.
you
So
know?
we drove across country, listened to Harry Potter all the way,
Nice.
and got out here right a week before the ski mountain opened.
Amazing.
And I started selling lift tickets at the ski resort, and the kids started school, and I worked for the ski resort for 12 years, and then after 12 years, I started with One-to-One.
Yeah, how'd you get to One-to-One?
I decided that, wanted to really do something that I was really passionate about. And children I'm extremely passionate about. So they had an opening, and I interviewed for it and got the job in 2013. 2 weeks before my fundraiser is when I started with Top Chef.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about the
Yeah.
fundraiser a little bit later, and I would encourage everybody to go, but it's packed as well, right? So like, there's so many people. We'll talk about that in a
Okay.
second. So tell me a little bit about, in terms of the story you had with your kids, just not knowing how to put on gloves or those kind of things, and the things kids worry about. That are kid things are taken care of usually by a parent or a mentor, and sometimes kids just don't have that because they have working parents. We have a lot of middle class and lower middle class families here, and you guys provide an incredible service here in the Box Canyon. And can you talk about that with One-to-One?
Yeah, One-to-One is organization that has been around for 24 years. And we service the youth in our community, and we match a youth with a caring adult. And we're very, and they're mentors, as I'm sure you've had mentors and you've been a mentor.
I have, I've never done it with One-to-One, but I just, because of by virtue of like my background in theater, I end up mentoring. We have an apprenticeship program and things like that. I end up mentoring a lot of kids that are sort of surrounding the arts and those kind of things. But.
So, and everybody needs a mentor in their lives, and we match what we call intentionally. So we interview mentors, and we talk to the children that are, they get into our program either recommended by their parents or by teachers or by social services, or some kids ask, I want to have a mentor. And
That's amazing.
We have matched a little girl whose mother passed away from breast cancer, and we matched her with a mentor whose mother passed away when she was young, and this little girl asked to be matched, and they are an amazing match, and they make banana bread together, and they do all sorts of things together, and the mentor is now part of the family, and she does all the family
You're gonna have
events.
to stop because you're gonna make me cry.
I know, it's one of my one of my touchstone stories because it makes me cry.
It's difficult because I now have a 2-year-old,
Yeah.
and I just I see how I always saw how important it was because my background a little bit was that I was a teacher, and I actually cut my teeth in the Bronx. So in the Bronx, the thing that was interesting was when I got here, I taught at the mountain school for a little while, and I remember talking to the head of the school at that point, and I remember having a specific conversation one time, and I said, these children, a lot of these kids are no different than those kids. They have working families, like they need, thank God for programs like One-to-One, thank God that we have this small school atmosphere, but it's like kids really need this. They need people in their lives who are different to be able to to tell them, you know, like, oh, like here's how you put your gloves on
Right.
when it's cold out, those kind of things, or you know, it's going to be okay because like it's not the end of. It's difficult to have a parent die, but it's not the end of the world,
Right.
and you can still go on. So you guys. You can't tell me any more stories.
Well,
That's the rule.
and and also the mentors,
Yeah.
mentors are like,
Yeah, how does
why
that
didn't I
happen?
do this earlier?
Yeah.
You know, I've had many mentors say, you know, gosh, I wish I had done this earlier. Or one of our mentors was talking with somebody, and everybody in Telluride's really busy and has, you know, multiple jobs, and everybody's like, well, you know, I don't have time to be a mentor. And somebody said to her, their friend, do you have time for friends? And she's like, oh, well, yeah, I always have time for friends. Then you have time to be a mentor.
Yeah.
And we're like, you know, wow, you're right. And the mentors now, they're like, they get to do things that they never would have done. Like,
I hate to let me tell everybody this. Yeah, it's like you know, like kids can do things with you. They can go sledding or hiking or like they can go have food with you, those kind of things. I mean,
some of these, you know, a lot of children, you know, because they don't think about hiking, have never hiked up Bear Creek, and they've lived here their whole lives.
Yeah.
So they'll hike up Bear Creek and they'll be like, oh, I never knew this was even here.
Oh man.
You know, just walking around town and sitting on Main Street and, you know, having a cup of hot chocolate. These kids.
I don't
you
know.
Just time.
I really don't know how we could get a worthier cause on this couch.
Right.
We've had a lot of people on this couch, and it's difficult because it's such an important thing, and it really is. I guess you just don't know because people think, I think here that you know, there's such wealth and opulence here, and there's more than there ever was before. But those folks really do pay into the system here. They help out a lot with nonprofits like yours and like mine, and I have to say, like, you have a fundraiser coming up, which has been, you know, which has blown the doors off it since you guys started. Was it 8 years? 8 years
9
ago?
years ago.
9 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's amazing. It's the Top Chef.
It's the Top Chef and
then
Taste
the
of
Taste of
Telluride,
Telluride, right? So explain what that is.
So it's our largest fundraiser of the year. It's this Friday, August 10th, and being a nonprofit, fundraisers are, you know, what we have to do.
This is king.
So,
We beg.
and I'm also a huge food person, so this is a great fundraiser for me because I love food, and my youngest son is actually a chef in New York, so we're all about food in my family.
Oh, yeah.
And
Just little old New York, huh?
little old New York, yes, yes.
Just the top.
Just he doesn't. He go big or go home. Yeah.
Does he come back and do this? Has he ever done this?
He's never done this.
I'm sure he's very busy.
He's always been there to help me with the competition, but he can't come home this year. So he just he's working at a great restaurant in New York. So so the Top Chef and Taste of Telluride it's a Top Chef competition, and is one part of the fundraiser. And we have one round where we have two new chefs that haven't been in the competition. Except for this year, it's a little different. We have in the first round Eliza Gavin from 221, who was in the first Top Chef of Telluride.
She was in Top Chef.
And she was in Bravo's Top Chef.
Yeah, she was in Bravo's Top Chef,
like 2012.
She also secretly runs easily one of the best fine dining restaurants in Telluride, which is 221.
Right. So she's in our first round.
I pity the person who has to go against her.
Well, you know, his
it?
name's Mark Brower, and he's the sous chef at, I always say this wrong, the restaurant at the Peaks. Well, I say this wrong.
I don't know.
Does anybody know? Altezza.
There you go. We got it from off camera. Thanks a lot, guys. That's okay.
And they are in the first round, and we supply them with a secret basket that I don't even know what it is until the day of.
Okay. This is like the SATs and stuff like that. You can't get in. They're locked away.
Yep. I don't even know. And I don't really know until right before we present it to them. So we present them with a secret basket, and they have 30 minutes to make a dish and plate it. They have to use everything in the secret basket. We supply them with a full pantry. It's at the Peaks, and they have a stovetop and a grill, and they can bring their own equipment, but they have to use everything in the secret basket, make a dish. We present it to 4 local judges that we have, and the judges taste everything and vote on the first round, who wins that round, and then the winner of that round
just
goes on to the next round, and they go against Ross Martin, who's the chef at All Reds, who's won 2 years in a row.
The reigning, I know.
Yeah, and you don't want to mess around with Ross. It's amazing. And so while that's going on,
I'm gonna put some money on it this year. I think he's gonna get dethroned.
I got
it.
Yeah.
So here's the other thing. when you're there, there's two other things. So you can enjoy that competition, which is really fun and amazing. But that's kind of almost the entertainment, because you can then taste dishes from all of the restaurants, right? In Telluride and Mountain Village, right?
We have, we have the Taste of Telluride, and while the competition's going on, we have about 15 different tables of food and specialty cocktails and wine pairing.
Yeah, there's bartenders who are also making specialty cocktails.
Yep.
So the point being, you got to come with a friend, and that friend can only have the food, because you're going to need a ride home. You're going to afterwards.
Well, that's the gondola.
Oh, that's the gondola. That's there you go.
Yep. So I always say at my events, or even at dinner parties, you never leave my house hungry or sober. Can I say that out loud?
You can say that out loud. It's fine.
It's kind of like this event.
It's a public show, and it's moreover, it's a public show in Telluride, so you can definitely say that.
So
drivers, make sure that you take a friend, drink responsibly, designated drivers, all that kind of stuff. We support that here. Okay, but I want to ask you one last thing. Well, number one, where is the competition? Where is it, and when is it?
The competition is at the Peaks Resort.
Peaks Resort.
On the second level, and we take over the Crystal Room, we take over the Legends, we take over the deck outside. We've got a DJ, Sean Mahoney.
And what day is it?
Friday.
It's Friday.
5:30.
It's Friday, 5:30.
It's the food event of the year.
Top Chef, Taste of Telluride. It absolutely is the food event of the year. And now I have to go backwards a little bit and ask you a very important question, which is, if we want to become a mentor, how do we do this? Because this is your major resource.
Yes.
Okay, so how do we become a mentor at 1-to-1?
You can call us, but the best thing you could do is go onto our website, 1to1telluride.org, and fill out an application. And one thing that we're looking for always is male mentors.
Okay.
Hardest thing to find in all of the mentoring world.
I'm growing one right now.
I know.
So he'll be there in another 15 years.
Yep.
That's going to be his. He's going to have to do it. That's the deal.
Right.
So, and I would do it if I could. But
you do a lot.
Yeah, I already got 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So
it's okay.
So anyway, Tara, lovely to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me. This was great.
Everybody, go to Top Chef on Friday, okay, and help and support 1-to-1 mentoring and become a mentor.
Great.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
Yep.